How to pivot your business model to an online virtual model. Now you might want to do this in bits, you might want to do it in its entirety. You definitely want to start doing it now because you'll need to. Because mortgage advisors, financial advisors even, any kind of personal finance advisor, relies totally on meeting the customer face to face and doing the business, your fact finding, etc. Now that model, you're still allowed to do it, but you'll find less and less of your clients are willing to do that, and you may not want to do that. And the fact is, people don't want business to be conducted like that, particularly in the next 3 months. It will probably continue on 6 months, 12 months. So if you're looking to pivot to an online model, here's how to do it. The first thing you need to do is to get crystal clear as to what your sales process is. If you haven't engineered your sales process, then you need to. Call it an advisor process if you're sort of scared of the word sales. Now, when you do sales or when you do advising, there's a number of steps you're going to take. The first one is you're going to do personal marketing. Personal marketing, as we call it. Now, they used to call that client acquisition, or prospecting is another phrase you might want to use, and that's great. Then you meet with the customer and you build trust and rapport. They are separate things. Rapport is part of trust, but you have to do that at some point. Obviously, there's lots of compliancy stuff as well, I get that. Then you need to explore the needs of the customer. Explore their needs, wants, aspirations, goals, all those things. You have to do that. Once you've done that, you then research the solution and present it to the customer. Once you've researched and presented, you then want to close. In other words, fill in the paperwork, and then you want to do all the post-sale follow-ups and admin. And that's your sales process, that's your advisor process. Not a lot different to that. Now, if you currently carry that out face-to-face, you'll have a number of meetings. You'll probably have an initial meeting maybe there. You might combine those two elements and have a fact-find meeting, which might last half an hour to an hour or whatever it is. You then might have another meeting to present the solution and to close the sale and get the customer to buy whatever it is you want or to take the advice that you're giving them. Just because you give advice, don't think people are going to take it. And then you might have the odd face-to-face meeting following up as well, ongoing reviews, stuff like that. Now, what you want to do is you want to replace that sales process with a virtual model. Now, the first element you want to do then is to do your personal marketing. Now, personal marketing doesn't change. You'll want to carry on doing that, but doing it online. So it's phone calls, it's video calls, it's social media, it's online marketing as well, referral marketing. All those things come into their own. You'll be wanting to do a lot of that. Doesn't change so much really whether you're online or face-to-face. You need to carry on doing your personal marketing. The best one to use, of course, is referrals. Definitely the best thing. I would look to an internet lead generation service as well to get your leads via the internet. You can buy these things, they're not that expensive now. You'll find more and more people on the internet, so get your leads via the internet maybe. You can buy those, as I said to you, contact the customer. You can get referrals. There's all sorts of things you can do there to generate income or generate clients. Now, once you've done that, you then want to prepare your clients. You want to advertise or promote the way you do business. Now, this is much down to the personal marketing. Your value proposition, for example, your introduction to what you do, is that you operate in an online world. You operate through video, through FaceTime, whatever tech you want to use, in order to help customers buy a home, remortgage a home, buy a property to rent or whatever, or if you're a financial advisor, that's the offering you give them. But you do it via virtual means, if that's the way you want to work. So that has to come over in your value proposition. Now, when you give that value proposition, you've got to talk about benefits of that value proposition. So be crystal clear what the benefits are. Time saving, For the next 3 months, the benefits are obvious. There's no personal contact, so it's time saving. It's keeping you in the comfort of your own home. It's allowing me to keep my costs down, so my fees are a lot lower. There needs to be a lot of benefits involved in giving this proposition to customer. And when you do your value propositions, make sure your customer knows how you're going to operate this. We'll explore your needs. We'll talk to you via a comprehensive video link or on the telephone. Telephone, by the way, is still virtual, isn't it? And that's how we operate. So if you want to go down this model, you've got to make sure your customers are prepared for that when you're personal marketing as well. You then want to build rapport. You then want to connect the customer, build rapport. Now I'll talk about how we can do this in a second or two. Explore the needs, research solution and close. It's all done through technology. So let's get yourself prepared then, and we'll talk about a few other areas for you. The first thing you need to do is get your tech right. Get your technical stuff right. Get your IT right. Now you might be good at it, you might not be good at it. So here's 4 or 5 things you need to think about. The first of all, you need your room. You need some sort of base to do this from. So here's your room. You might be based in an office, you might be based at home. There's nothing wrong with being based at home, by the way, to do this. Here's your room. And typically in your room, you might have a PC on the desk and your keyboard and a filing cabinet and all those good things. You know, that's your office. Now, if you're going to operate on a virtual model, you want to find a base in which to do it from. You don't want to be using laptops. You don't want to be using tablets in coffee bars, that kind of kit. You could, but it's not very professional. You need to have a dedicated room to deliver your advice and your prospecting and your marketing and your exploring. You've got to do that. So get your room sorted. It can be an office, it could be at home. If it's at home, a corner, whatever, it needs to be fairly quiet. It needs to be prevented from being interrupted by children, God bless them, or dogs, or whatever it is, because you're going to be talking to customers from this room. It doesn't matter if there are dogs or there's children around, there's noise, there's birds singing, whatever, but you need to keep the noise down to a minimum. Then you need to think about your tech. What sort of tech are you going to have? Well, the best way to do this, of course, is with some kind of video camera and Zoom or some sort of software. So the first thing you need to do is you need your software to operate from it. Now I use Zoom. It's very, very good price. It allows you to communicate using video technology. It works really, really well for me. I'm sure it will work for you. You then need to look at a camera of some description. So you need to have a proper camera. Now have your webcam attached to your monitor. If you've got a laptop, they've all got them at the top. Webcams are important because they will obviously screen you. Get a decent HD one. If you've got an old laptop where the camera's well dodgy, then replace it with a Logitech £100 or so webcam. They're pretty good nowadays. You need to get that going. Of course you do. You need to have a microphone. You can rely on the webcam's microphone, or you can get one of these sort of Yeti microphones which sit on your desk and they connect to the PC. I use a Yeti. A Yeti can pick up the noise from all around. The best one to have is a Yeti one. The webcam microphones are pretty poor generally. And that's all you need really. You've got your camera, you've got your microphone, you've got your computer screen. And now you can start to use Zoom or GoTo or whatever kind of tech, Microsoft Teams. Zoom is a better one because it allows the general public to access you and you have control over it and it works really well. And that's pretty much the tech. You might want to enhance that with maybe 2 monitors. Now, once you start getting a couple of monitors, you have the customer's image on one, and you might have another screen for shared documents and stuff like that, which you'll be wanting to do as part of the advice process. So that's a good investment to do. Make sure your PC, of course, can attach 2 monitors. Get yourself a box PC, one of these boxes, put it on the floor. You need a high-powered bit of spec to do this, by the way. Don't expect a very basic laptop to do it for you. It won't work. So that would work really well. Internet is key. If you've got your internet router on the top of the shelf there, with Wi-Fi, then that's fine. But what you will want to do is get a cable to go to the PC. Ethernet cable, internet. Don't rely on Wi-Fi. They go up and down like a yo-yo. If you've got an Ethernet cable, it means it's consistent. Ask any gamer how they access the internet. It's always via Ethernet cable. Make sure it's fast enough, of course. You need that without saying any more about that one. And that's the tech, pretty much. Yeah, you can get lighting if you want to. Most decent offices have got decent lighting. You can get little spotlights if you wanted to. You can get little lights, which connect to cameras, which connect to the table if you want to get lighting, makes it look lovely. Don't forget the background as well needs to be fairly reasonable. I mean, as you can appreciate, I've got a background here which is a whiteboard, which works really well as far as I'm concerned because I use it for training. I've got 3 cameras here, so I've got different backgrounds that you want to be thinking about. The last thing on the tech, of course, are the skills. Get good at it. Get good at operating it. It goes without saying. Make sure you're very fluent with the technology, that you can explain to the customer how it works as well. Because you'll be accessing these various meetings using this technology. You'll have proper meeting times, etc. You'll need to guide them through what to do. Now, Zoom's pretty clever. It's pretty intuitive. It's not difficult. But your customer might not be savvy, so you'll need to educate them as you go. Don't spend 10 minutes teaching them the whole software up front because they won't remember. Teach them things as you go. So, for example, if you're wanting to share a screen, so it might well be that you've got some sort of initial disclosure that you might want to share on the screen for them. You're building rapport, you're building trust, you're doing your disclosure, which you have to do, and your network might require a certain form. So get it shared on the screen. You'll say to the customer, right, what I want to do now is share a screen for you. So in a minute your screen's going to show a PDF image. So I'd like you to click this button to bring it up on the whole screen. Because your customer will be on a laptop, a tablet or something like that. So educate them as you go along. So get good at it really is the issue to think about. 4 or 5 other things for you to think about as well. Your lender and life office contact. You're online now. You're virtual. You ain't going out your house. So you'll need to talk to lenders. You'll need to talk to mortgage clubs. Your BDMs, of course, have all hunkered back into their offices. You don't find BDMs in cars anymore driving around seeing you because they've all gone back into their offices now. They're all online, they're all using the phone mostly. Some will be using this. So make sure you're dealing with BDMs that do have video link as well, because you'll want some training, education on products as well. Your network may require something going on here as well. They may have rules and regulations, sure they will. They may well also want sort of connection via video as well. You may have a paraplanner, you might have a virtual assistant. I've got a number of clients of mine who have VAs or virtual assistants who do all the paraplanning for you, all the research and stuff. They could be based anywhere in the country, don't have to have people local to you. Make sure they're up to speed with the technology and they can use it with you as well, and you can communicate via that methodology. CPD, make sure your own learning and development is done online as well. We're an online training company now, that's what we do. All our online teaching is done via this methodology. Workshops, conferences, one-to-one videos, all those sort of things. So make sure you're picking up your CPD online as well. Networking. You may not be wanting to do a lot of face-to-face networking, probably in the next 2 to 3 months, more than likely. So make sure you get into a networking club. I'm not talking about social media, your Facebooks, LinkedIn. You can use that if you want to. LinkedIn's very useful. But if your clients are individuals, which most mortgage advisors are, LinkedIn ain't going to help you. All LinkedIn will do is tell you what other mortgage brokers are doing and what lenders are up to. Networking, I'm thinking here more of online mastermind classes, for example. Now, I meet up with people every couple of months for a mastermind where people like me meet up on video, we chat about problems, challenges. So get in with a number of other mortgage brokers to help you, because you don't want to be isolated if you are working from within. Compliance and paperwork. Make sure that your videos are all recorded, so when you do your meetings, so you might, for example, have a first meeting here, for the Explore and the Rapport, I'm sure you would do. You'll probably want to have a meeting here where you're presenting the options and solutions and then closing as well. Maybe further meetings when you're doing post-sale stuff, updates and stuff like that. Make sure you record the meeting. Get client permission, of course, to do that. Zoom will record automatically. Put the MP4 file that's created, it'd be a jolly big file, put that into the client file, so there's your computer system, and use it. Your network will probably have rules around that as well, so I'd definitely record it. Make sure all your documentation's given to the customer in the right way. Make sure that you can issue or email PDFs rather than get them to do it. You'll probably need signatures, of course you will. You might want to go digital signatures. You might just want to post the documentation for the client to post and return back to you. Post, by the way, still works. Postman will still deliver stuff. But you might want to use other technology for that one. So make sure you remain compliant. Don't change your sales process. Have all the things in there you have to, because your Your supervisors will want to watch you, and I have seen where a supervisor actually comes online with you and observes the meeting online. Pretty clever stuff. What you'll have is you'll have you and your client on a Zoom call. You'll also invite your supervisor in, obviously tell the client what you're doing, and the supervisor's back in their office, and they're watching the whole interaction on computer. And that's perfectly acceptable to do that. I'm doing some training data this month for a network, and we're teaching the supervisors how to supervise online. How cool is that? The world is changing. So there's some ideas, tips, techniques to help you to pivot your business model online. It can be done. It's not difficult. It's definitely required for the next 3 to 6 months, and maybe moving forward as well. You might want to look at operating that model. It opens up the geography. You don't have to be dealing with people in your local area, and it's not just the telephone. Telephone's great. This is, you get image, you get people, you get pictures, you get people chatting, smiles. The rapport's a whole lot easier as well, and it's a whole lot more modern. And when VA virtual reality comes in and we're all donning our headsets, then it's a game changer, and this prepares you for that as well. So some ideas, hopefully useful. Bye.